Asha Monroe boarded that plane with a wrinkled ticket and a court date she couldn't afford to miss. The gate agent scanned her pass twice, as if cheap seats came with cheap character. When a baby's screams tore through the cabin, she offered help the way any decent person would. But the billionaire in first class didn't see decency. He saw a threat. Within minutes, she was escorted to the galley like a criminal, humiliated in front of strangers who decided her guilt before she ever spoke. What he didn't know was that his baby was dying, and she was the only one who could save him. Subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from, because what happens next will restore your faith in justice. Asha Monroe stood near Gate 47 with her boarding pass folded twice in her palm. The paper was wrinkled from being checked 3 times already. She breathed in slowly and watched the way people looked past her. The gate agent called her forward when her zone number lit up on the screen. The woman scanned Asha's pass and paused. She scanned it again. "This seat assignment is correct?" the agent asked. "Yes," Asha said. The agent's smile stayed professional, but her eyes moved differently. Asha knew that look. It said cheap tickets meant something about character. She stepped aside and pulled out her phone. The text to her caseworker read simple and clear. Confirmed. Awambu AM. Don't be late. Asha felt the weight of tomorrow settle behind her ribs. Missing that hearing meant her foster sister got moved again. Around her, travelers adjusted bags and checked watches. Nobody looked at her directly. Asha was used to that. She had learned to take up only the space she paid for. When the final boarding call came, she rose quietly. Her small tote fit under the seat in front of her. She carried no expectations of kindness. The jet bridge smelled like recycled air and impatience. Asha walked forward with her shoulders back. She had survived worse than a 5-hour flight. The door to the plane waited ahead. She stepped through it wearing calm determination the way other people wore jewelry. The narrow aisle stretched before her. Asha moved carefully. She did not bump anyone. She did not apologize for existing. She found her row near the back and settled in. Her hands were steady. Her heart was not. Tomorrow morning she would stand in front of a judge and prove she deserved to keep the only family she had left. Tonight, she just had to survive this flight. The cabin filled quickly with bodies and baggage and barely concealed irritation. A man in a suit swung his bag into the overhead bin. The corner clipped Asha's shoulder hard enough to sting. He did not apologize. He did not even look at her. Asha absorbed it without comment. She saved her voice for when it mattered. Her seat was 32B, middle seat. She wedged herself between 2 strangers who had already claimed both armrests. Claire Jensen moved through the cabin with practiced efficiency. She was the senior flight attendant. Her smile stayed bright and empty as she greeted passengers. But Asha noticed the way Claire's eyes changed when she looked toward first class. There was deference there, trained and reflexive. Asha stowed her tote under the seat in front of her. She made sure nothing stuck out into the aisle. People watched for reasons to call someone messy. She would not give them one. The man to her right spread his knees wide. Asha pulled hers together. The woman to her left typed on her phone with sharp, annoyed taps. Asha felt invisible and hypervisible at the same time. From somewhere up front, a baby started crying. The sound cut through the cabin chatter. Heads turned automatically. Asha saw the shift in people's faces, irritation blooming before the flight even started. The overhead bins slammed shut one by one. Each thud felt like the plane clenching its teeth. The crying grew louder. Sharper. Asha closed her eyes briefly. 5 hours. She could do this. The engines hummed to life beneath them. The cabin lights dimmed. A flight attendant's voice came over the intercom with safety instructions nobody listened to. Asha's chest tightened. She thought about her foster sister's face. She thought about the caseworker's warning to arrive on time. She thought about everything riding on tomorrow morning. The baby screamed again. Louder this time. The plane had not even moved yet. Grant Hargrove boarded before most passengers even reached the gate. He carried himself with the quiet authority of someone who expected doors to open early. They always did. Behind him, Nora struggled with a diaper bag and a squirming baby. Her face was pale with exhaustion. The bag looked too heavy for her thin wrists. Claire straightened immediately when she recognized Grant. Her posture changed. She became smaller somehow, more deferential. "Mr. Hargrove," Claire said. "Welcome aboard. Let me help you get settled." Grant nodded without smiling. He took his seat in 2A, first class, window. Nora slid into 2B with the baby against her chest. Asha watched from her seat in the back. She did not feel envy. She felt a familiar tiredness. The rules always shifted for men who looked like Grant. The baby's crying intensified as Nora tried to settle him. The sound bounced off the curved walls. It filled every available space. Claire offered Grant a warm towel and a drink menu. She offered Nora a tight smile that did not reach her eyes. The message was clear. Keep the baby quiet. Grant accepted his drink and opened a tablet. He looked annoyed already. Nora whispered apologies to no one and everyone. Around them, passengers shifted in their seats. A man across the aisle sighed loudly. A woman 2 rows back made a face. Asha knew what would come next. Judgment. Suggestions that were really criticisms. The particular cruelty strangers saved for mothers whose babies cried in public. The baby wailed. Nora's hands shook as she tried to soothe him. Grant's jaw tightened. He did not look at his partner. He stared at his screen as if the noise was beneath his attention. The overhead bins closed with final, decisive thuds. The plane felt suddenly smaller. Trapped. Asha's breath caught. She recognized that trapped feeling. She had felt it her whole life. The plane pushed back from the gate with a mechanical groan. The baby's crying did not let up. It scraped at every nerve in the cabin. Nora tried everything. She rocked him. She whispered. She pressed him against her shoulder. Nothing worked. Around her, passengers sighed and shifted. A businessman put in earbuds. A teenager rolled his eyes. The judgment was silent but suffocating. Asha watched Nora's hands tremble as she fumbled with the diaper bag. The woman was at the edge of something. Desperation or collapse or both. Asha stood carefully and moved 1 row forward. She kept her voice low. "Excuse me," Asha said. Nora looked up. Her eyes were red. "Sometimes warm water helps," Asha said. "Or checking the diaper. Holding him upright can relieve pressure." Nora's face shifted. Gratitude flooded her features. "Thank you," Nora said. "I didn't think of that." Asha offered her a tissue from her tote. Nora took it with shaking fingers. Grant turned his head slowly. His eyes found Asha. He stared at her as if she had crossed an invisible line. The air changed. Asha felt it immediately. She had not touched the baby. She had not raised her voice. She had simply offered a suggestion the way any decent person would. But Grant's stare said something else. It said she had no right to speak, no right to be seen. Asha returned to her seat without rushing. She kept her movements calm and deliberate, but her heart pounded against her ribs. The cabin's mood shifted. Suspicion replaced discomfort. People glanced toward Asha and then away. She had done nothing wrong. She knew that. But she also knew how quickly kindness from someone who looked like her could become a problem. Claire walked past her row. Her eyes flicked toward Asha. There was a question in that glance. Or maybe a warning. Asha folded her hands in her lap. She stared straight ahead. The baby kept crying. The plane kept moving forward. And Asha felt the weight of being seen. Turbulence hit 20 minutes into the flight. The plane bumped and shuddered. Passengers gripped armrests. The seatbelt sign chimed on. The baby's cries rose into something frantic, high and relentless and impossible to ignore. Grant stood halfway into the aisle despite the turbulence. His voice carried over the engine noise. "This is ridiculous," Grant said. "People in the back are making it worse." He gestured vaguely toward economy, toward Asha's section. "Someone was hovering earlier," Grant said, agitating the situation. Asha's stomach dropped. She had not hovered. She had offered help and returned to her seat. But Grant was looking at her now, directly. His expression was calm, but his words were cruel. "That woman," Grant said. He pointed. Every head in the cabin turned. Asha felt the stares land on her skin. Claire appeared in the aisle. Her professional smile was fixed in place. Her eyes carried the pressure of authority. "Ma'am," Claire said. She stopped beside Asha's row. "Could you step into the galley with me, just for a quick chat?" Asha's throat tightened. She had done nothing wrong. "I didn't do anything," Asha said. Her voice was steady, calm. But inside she felt the old familiar heat, being accused without evidence, judged without trial. "It's just procedure," Claire said, "to make sure everyone feels comfortable." Asha stood slowly. She did not argue. Arguing made things worse. She had learned that years ago. She walked toward the galley with Claire behind her. The aisle felt endless. Every passenger watched her pass. Asha felt humiliation settle into her bones. It was a feeling she knew well, the kind that came from being visible in the wrong way. The galley curtain closed behind them. The space was narrow and cold. Asha's hands were steady, but her breath was not. Claire stood with her back to the galley counter. Her tone stayed courteous, but her words pressed Asha into a corner. "I just need to understand what happened," Claire said. "I offered a suggestion about the baby," Asha said. "Then I sat down." "Mr. Hargrove feels you were being intrusive." Asha felt anger flash hot behind her eyes. She cooled it immediately. Anger would only confirm what they already believed. "I didn't touch anyone," Asha said. "I didn't raise my voice. I was trying to help." Claire's eyes slid away. She would not meet Asha's gaze directly. "It's just procedure," Claire said again. Asha heard the translation. "Make it easy for us." From the aisle, Grant's voice drifted forward. Confident, amused. He was talking to another passenger about people who don't understand boundaries. Asha's jaw tightened. She wanted to scream. She wanted to walk off this plane and never look back. But she had a hearing tomorrow morning. She had a little girl depending on her. She could not afford to make a scene. "Am I being accused of something?" Asha asked. Claire hesitated. Her professional mask cracked slightly. "No," Claire said, "but I need to make sure everyone feels safe." Asha felt the insult in those words, as if her presence was a threat, as if safety meant keeping her invisible. The baby's cry changed suddenly. It became sharper, pained. Asha's attention snapped forward. That was not fussing. That was distress. "Something's wrong," Asha said. Claire frowned. She did not move. Asha felt herself questioning everything. Did I do something wrong by being visible? The baby screamed again. The sound cut through the cabin noise. Asha looked at Claire. Her voice was calm but urgent. "That baby needs help," Asha said. Asha stepped closer to the galley curtain. She could hear Nora's voice rising in panic. The baby's cries were thin now, strained. Let me talk to her, Asha said. Please. Claire's face tightened. She looked toward the first-class curtain. Asha could see the calculation happening. Liability versus compassion. The billionaire's temper versus a baby's distress. I'm not trying to cause trouble, Asha said, but that cry sounds like pressure pain. Positioning can help, if she consents and you allow it. Claire's hands twisted together. She was afraid. Asha could see it clearly now. I don't know, Claire said. The baby's crying surged again, louder, more desperate. Nora's voice broke. Please, someone help him. Even Grant sounded rattled now. Do something. Asha held Claire's gaze. She did not beg. She did not plead. She simply let her competence speak in the calm of her voice. I know what I'm doing, Asha said. I just need permission. Claire's breath came faster. Her eyes darted between the curtain and Asha's face. Finally, she nodded. The movement was tight, reluctant. Just talk to her, Claire said. Don't touch the baby without her consent. Asha felt relief and dread collide in her chest. Thank you, Asha said. Claire pulled back the curtain. Asha stepped into the aisle. Every eye in the cabin turned toward her again. This time she was walking toward first class, toward the baby, toward Grant. Nora looked up as Asha approached. Hope flickered across her exhausted face. Grant's mouth curved with disbelief. He looked ready to mock whatever came next. Asha stopped beside Nora's seat. She kept her voice soft but clear. May I? Asha asked. She waited. She would not move until she got a real yes. The baby's cries ricocheted off the windows. The plane felt like a sealed jar of pressure. Nora nodded frantically. Yes, please. Asha took a breath. She centered herself. Claire stood in the aisle behind Asha. Her presence felt less like support and more like surveillance. The cabin had gone silent except for the baby's cries. Asha knelt carefully in the aisle. She kept her movements slow and visible. Hold him upright against your chest, Asha said. Chest to chest. Like this. She demonstrated with her hands in the air. She did not reach for the baby. She waited for Nora to move first. Nora adjusted her grip. The baby pressed against her sternum. Asha guided Nora's hands gently. Now breathe slowly, Asha said. Deep and steady. He'll feel it. Nora's breath stuttered, then steadied. Asha asked Claire for a warm cloth. Claire retrieved one from the galley without speaking. Asha placed it on the back of the baby's neck. Pressure can build in their ears, Asha said. This position helps, and humming low helps too. She hummed softly. The sound was steady, grounded, older than the plane's engines. The baby's crying stuttered, then softened. Asha kept humming. Nora's shoulders began to relax. Grant leaned forward. His eyes were sharp and cold. Are you a doctor? Grant asked. No, Asha said, but I know babies. The baby's cries faded to whimpers, then stopped completely. The silence was sudden and profound. It felt like relief made audible. Asha did not smile for applause. She stepped back carefully. You can do this yourself now, Asha said to Nora. Anytime he gets fussy, just hold him like this and breathe. Nora's eyes filled with tears. Thank you. Asha nodded once. She stood and turned to walk back to her seat. The cabin stared at her. Some faces showed gratitude. Others showed confusion. A few showed something uglier. Grant's face had tightened. Not with gratitude, with irritation. He had lost control of the narrative, and men like Grant did not tolerate that. Asha walked down the aisle. Her heart pounded. Her hands were steady. She had done good. She had saved the flight from hours of crying. But she knew already that it would not be enough. Asha returned to her seat in silence. The cabin felt different now, watchful, uncertain. The baby stayed quiet against Nora's chest. His breathing had evened out. His tiny fists relaxed. Nora whispered something to Grant. He did not respond. He stared at his tablet screen as if nothing had happened. Claire stood near the galley. Her face was unreadable. Asha settled into 32B and closed her eyes briefly. Her chest felt tight. She had helped. That should have been the end of it. But she knew better. 10 minutes passed. The seatbelt sign chimed off. Passengers shifted and stretched. Conversations resumed in low murmurs. Then Grant's voice rose above the ambient noise. "I want to thank the young lady who helped us," Grant said. He spoke loudly, performatively, making sure the cabin heard him. "That was impressive," Grant said. "Natural instinct. Maternal instinct, I suppose." Asha's stomach turned. She kept her eyes closed. Natural instinct. Not skill, not knowledge, not competence earned through experience. Instinct. The word people used when they wanted to deny expertise. Grant continued. "A real back-row miracle." Laughter flickered through the cabin, thin and nervous. Asha felt the humiliation settle deeper. She had been competent. She had been calm. She had asked permission and respected boundaries. And still she was being reduced to something less than professional. Claire appeared beside Asha's row. Her voice was quiet. "Thank you for your help," Claire said. "But I need you to return to your seat now." Asha opened her eyes. "I'm in my seat." "I meant—" Claire stopped. Her face flushed. "Just stay here. Please." Asha understood. She was being returned, put back where she belonged, away from first class, away from Grant. Claire hurried forward as if escorting a borrowed tool back to storage. Asha's phone buzzed in her pocket. Once, then again. She pulled it out, slowly. Notifications filled the screen. A video, posted by someone on the plane, already spreading. Asha's throat tightened. She had not agreed to be filmed. The story was already being rewritten without her. Asha opened the video with shaking hands. The angle was wrong. The context missing. It showed her kneeling in the aisle. Showed the baby going quiet. Showed Nora's grateful face. But it did not show Grant's accusation. It did not show Claire escorting her to the galley. It did not show the humiliation that came before the help. The caption read, "Woman in economy saves billionaire's baby. Heartwarming moment at 30,000 feet." Asha scrolled through the comments. Her chest grew tighter with each one. She probably works for them. Why was she even up there? Bet she's looking for a reward. She's lucky he didn't call security. Asha set the phone face down on her lap. She felt sick. Across the aisle, a teenage boy held his phone at an angle. He was filming again, capturing her reaction. "Can you stop?" Asha asked. Ethan Weller looked up. He shrugged. "It's public space," Ethan said. Asha's jaw tightened. "I didn't consent to being in your video." "You're in the background," Ethan said. "That's legal." He went back to his phone. Typing, posting, feeding the machine. Asha felt the familiar powerlessness of being a story someone else got to tell. Leonard Price leaned forward from the row behind her. His voice was low and steady. "You don't owe anybody a performance," Leonard said. Asha turned slightly. The older man's face was kind but serious. He had been watching, seeing. "Thank you," Asha said quietly. Leonard nodded. He settled back but did not look away. His presence felt like a hand on her shoulder. From first class, the baby started crying again. This time the sound was different. Thinner. Strained. Asha's focus snapped forward. That was not pressure. That was something else. She stood without thinking. Claire appeared immediately. "Ma'am, please sit down." "Something's wrong," Asha said. The parents can handle it, Claire said. Nora's voice rose in panic. He won't stop. I did what she said. It's not working. Grant's voice cut through, sharp and angry. You're not doing it right. Asha felt her heart rate spike. The baby's cry was wrong, distressed in a way that made her skin prickle. She looked at Claire. That's not fussing. He needs help. Claire hesitated. Her eyes darted toward first class. The baby screamed, high and thin. Asha's breath caught. Nora stood in the aisle now. She bounced the baby frantically. Her movements were jagged with desperation. Please, Nora said. Someone help. Grant stood beside her. His face was tight with irritation. You're making it worse, Grant said. Hold him still. Nora's hands shook. The baby's cries grew thinner, more strained. Asha moved forward. Claire stepped in front of her. I need you to sit down, Claire said. That baby is in distress, Asha said. This isn't colic. Something is wrong. A man in row 5 stood. He was older, tired-looking. He wore glasses and a rumpled shirt. I'm a doctor, he said. Dr. Miguel Reyes. Relief flooded Claire's face. She gestured him forward immediately. Dr. Reyes moved past Asha without looking at her. He approached Nora and Grant with the bored efficiency of someone interrupted on a long flight. What seems to be the problem? Dr. Reyes asked. He won't stop crying, Nora said. I did everything. I held him upright. I used the warm cloth. But he won't stop. Dr. Reyes looked at the baby briefly. He frowned. Asha stayed in the aisle, watching. Her instincts screamed at her. His breathing, Asha said quietly. Dr. Reyes turned. He looked at Asha for the first time. His expression was dismissive. I'm handling it, Dr. Reyes said. His chest, Asha said. Look at his chest. Dr. Reyes sighed. But he looked. His expression changed, sharpened. Retraction, Dr. Reyes said. His voice was different now, focused. He's having trouble breathing. Nora's face went white. What? Grant stepped forward. What does that mean? Dr. Reyes did not answer. He listened to the baby's chest with his ear. No stethoscope. Just listening. We need oxygen, Dr. Reyes said. He looked at Claire. Do you have oxygen on board? Claire's professional mask cracked. Yes, in the medical kit. Get it, Dr. Reyes said. Claire turned and ran towards the galley. The cabin's mood shifted from irritation to fear. Fear had a way of stripping excuses away. Grant's voice was sharp. Is he going to be okay? Dr. Reyes ignored him. He turned to Asha. What did you notice? Dr. Reyes asked. Asha stepped closer. The cry changed. It got thinner, and I saw his ribs pulling in when he breathed. Dr. Reyes nodded slowly. His skepticism was gone. You were right, Dr. Reyes said. Claire returned with the oxygen kit. Her hands shook as she opened it. Dr. Reyes placed the small mask gently over the baby's face. The cabin watched in silence. The baby's cries quieted slightly, but his breathing was still labored. Dr. Reyes looked at Claire. We need to land, now. Claire's face went pale. She nodded once and moved toward the cockpit. Grant grabbed her arm. Wait, is that necessary? Claire pulled free. Yes. She disappeared behind the cockpit door, the cabin filled with whispered speculation. Asha stood beside Dr. Reyes. She kept her voice low. Respiratory distress? Asha asked. Possibly, Dr. Reyes said, or an allergic reaction. I can't tell without proper equipment. Nora sobbed quietly. The baby was calmer with the oxygen, but his breathing remained shallow. Grant paced the small space in first class. His face was red. This is unacceptable, Grant said. We're supposed to land in 4 hours. Dr. Reyes turned sharply. Your son is struggling to breathe. I know that, Grant said. But is diverting really necessary? Can't we just monitor him? Asha felt disgust rise in her throat. She kept her face neutral. Dr. Reyes's voice was cold. Would you prefer to risk it? Grant's jaw tightened. He did not answer. The cockpit door opened. The pilot's voice came over the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are diverting to Denver due to a medical emergency. We will be landing in approximately 25 minutes. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened. The cabin erupted in murmurs. Some passengers looked concerned. Others looked annoyed. Ethan's phone was up again, recording, capturing everything. Asha wanted to tell him to stop, but she had bigger concerns. She moved closer to Nora. May I? Nora nodded. Her face was streaked with tears. Asha checked the oxygen mask placement. She watched the baby's chest rise and fall. He's getting air, Asha said. That's good. Just keep him calm. Nora nodded. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done. Grant turned on her suddenly. You would have done what the doctor said. His voice was sharp with displaced fear, but the cruelty underneath was plain. Nora flinched. Asha felt anger flash hot in her chest. Dr. Reyes stepped between them. Mr. Hargrove, your partner needs support right now, not criticism. Grant's face darkened. I don't need parenting advice from strangers. Then stop acting like a child, Dr. Reyes said. The silence that followed was thick and dangerous. Claire appeared from the galley. Medical personnel will meet us at the gate. I need everyone to remain calm. She looked at Asha. Something had shifted in her eyes. Recognition, maybe respect. Thank you, Claire said quietly. Asha nodded. She did not smile. The plane began its descent. The baby whimpered softly against Nora's chest, and the cabin held its breath. Asha guided Nora's hands gently. Keep his head elevated, like this. It helps him breathe easier. Nora adjusted her grip. The baby's whimpering quieted slightly. Dr. Reyes listened to the baby's breathing again. His frown deepened. The oxygen is helping, Dr. Reyes said, but we need to get him to a hospital. He turned to Asha. You have medical training? No, Asha said, but I raised my foster sister from infancy, and I worked in a daycare for 3 years. Dr. Reyes's expression changed, not dismissive now, thoughtful. You caught the retractions before I did, Dr. Reyes said. I was paying attention, Asha said. Grant made a sound of disgust. This is ridiculous. She's not qualified to be up here. Dr. Reyes turned slowly. His voice was quiet but hard. She saved your son, Dr. Reyes said. Twice, once from your pride, once from my skepticism. Grant's mouth opened, then closed. Claire coordinated with the cockpit. She moved with precise efficiency. But her eyes kept returning to Asha. The recognition in Claire's gaze was new, uncomfortable. It said she had been wrong earlier. It said she knew it. Asha did not acknowledge it. She focused on the baby. His color is better, Asha said. The oxygen is working. Nora's shoulders shook with relief. Thank you. God, thank you. Grant hovered at the edge of the scene, angry at being sidelined. His anger made him careless. I don't understand why we're diverting, Grant said. Babies cry. It's what they do. Dr. Reyes stared at him. Your son's airways were restricting. That's not crying. That's a medical emergency. How do you know it wasn't just gas? Grant asked. Because I'm a physician, Dr. Reyes said, and he nodded toward Asha, has better instincts than most parents. Grant's face flushed dark red. He turned away. The plane shuddered as it descended through clouds. The seatbelt sign stayed lit. Over the intercom, the pilot's voice was calm and steady. Flight attendants, prepare for landing. Claire buckled herself into the jump seat. She looked exhausted. Asha returned to her seat in economy. Leonard Price met her eyes as she passed. "You did good," Leonard said. Asha nodded. She felt hollowed out, tired beyond words. She buckled her seatbelt and stared at the seat back in front of her. Tomorrow she had a hearing. Tonight she had saved a baby. Neither felt real anymore. The wheels touched down with a jolt. The cabin filled with relieved applause. Asha did not clap. The plane taxied toward the gate, with emergency vehicles visible through the windows. Lights flashed red and white against the tarmac. Passengers who had glared at Asha earlier now looked away. Some faces showed shame. Others showed something harder to name. A woman 3 rows up turned in her seat. "I'm sorry I judged you earlier." Asha nodded. She did not have energy for absolution. Leonard Price spoke softly to those around him. His voice carried weight and clarity. "She saved your comfort and his child," Leonard said, "and you watched her get treated poorly for a threat." The words landed heavy. Some passengers shifted uncomfortably. A few nodded. Ethan's phone was still up, recording. But his face had changed. He looked younger suddenly, uncertain. The footage he had captured showed more than he planned. Grant's sneer, Claire's coercion, Asha's refusal to be rattled. The truth was in those frames. Undeniable. The plane stopped at the gate. Paramedics boarded immediately with equipment and calm authority. Nora handed the baby over with shaking arms. "Please help him," the lead paramedic assessed quickly. "He's stable. We'll transport him to Children's Hospital for observation." Nora started crying. Relief and exhaustion and fear all at once. Grant stood beside her. Silent now. Diminished. The paramedics moved efficiently. They had the baby on a stretcher within minutes. "One parent can ride with us," the paramedic said. Nora looked at Grant. He nodded once. "Go," Grant said. "I'll get our bags." Nora followed the paramedics off the plane. The cabin watched in silence. When they were gone, Grant turned. He found Asha in the back rows. He walked toward her slowly. The aisle felt longer than it was. Grant stopped beside her seat. His voice was loud enough for others to hear. "Thank you," Grant said, "for helping my son. You were amazing." He paused, then smiled. "I'd like to offer you a reward. First-class upgrade on your return flight. Maybe a financial thank you." His voice was thick with ownership. Gratitude used as a leash. Asha looked up at him. Her face was composed. "I don't want a reward," Asha said. Grant's smile thinned. "Everyone wants something." "I want an incident report," Asha said, "documenting what happened, when you accused me, when I was removed to the galley." The cabin went silent. Grant's expression hardened. "I think you're misremembering. I never accused you of anything." "You said I was hovering," Asha said. "You called me a safety concern." "I was concerned for everyone's safety," Grant said. "That's not an accusation." Asha stood slowly. She met his eyes. "Then you won't mind if it's documented," Asha said. Grant leaned closer. His voice dropped to something that sounded like advice. "You don't want to make trouble," Grant said. "Trust me." The threat was clear beneath the words. Asha's breath caught. Dr. Reyes appeared beside them. His presence was solid and deliberate. "I'll corroborate everything," Dr. Reyes said. "In writing, if you need it." Grant turned. His smile stayed fixed, but his eyes were cold. "That won't be necessary," Grant said. "This was a misunderstanding. Nothing more." "It wasn't a misunderstanding," Dr. Reyes said. "You singled her out. The crew escorted her to the galley. I saw it happen." Claire stood near the exit door. She was frozen. caught between corporate reflex and moral awakening. Passengers gathered their bags slowly, listening, watching. Grant's voice hardened. I don't appreciate being lectured. I thanked her. I offered compensation. She's choosing to be difficult. She's choosing dignity, Leonard Price said from his seat. Grant turned sharply. Excuse me? You heard me, Leonard said. He stood with deliberate slowness. You humiliated her, then needed her. Now you want to buy her silence. Grant's face flushed. That's absurd. Is it? Leonard asked. The cabin felt charged, electric with unspoken truths. Claire's hands shook as she held the exit door. Her voice was quiet. I'll file the report, Claire said. Grant turned to her. What? I'll document what happened, Claire said. It's protocol. Her voice shook, but she did not take the words back. Grant stared at her. Then at Asha. Then at the cabin full of witnesses. Do whatever you want, Grant said. His voice was tight. I have a son in the hospital. He grabbed his bag from the overhead bin and walked off the plane. The cabin exhaled collectively. Claire approached Asha slowly. I'll submit the report tonight. You'll get a copy. Asha nodded. She did not thank her. Not yet. Dr. Reyes handed Asha a business card. If you need a medical statement, call me. Thank you, Asha said. The passengers filed off slowly. Some glanced at Asha as they passed, apology in their eyes. Asha gathered her tote and waited until the cabin was nearly empty. Leonard Price walked beside her down the aisle. You okay? I will be, Asha said. They stepped into the jetway. Asha's phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out. More notifications. More videos. Ethan had posted the full clip now. Unedited. Complete. The comments were changing, shifting. People were seeing the truth. But Asha's hearing was tomorrow morning, in Los Angeles, not Denver. She checked the time. The airline was rebooking everyone on the next available flight. But the next flight did not land until 7:30 a.m., 30 minutes before her hearing. Asha's chest tightened. She had done everything right, and still the world was falling apart. At the gate, airline staff coordinated rebooking with harried efficiency. Passengers lined up with boarding passes and complaints. Asha stood to the side. Her mind raced through logistics. Car service from LAX, traffic, the courthouse address. 30 minutes. It would be close. Claire appeared beside her. She looked smaller somehow, exhausted. I'm sorry, Claire said. For earlier, I should have listened to you. Asha met her eyes. You should have. Claire flinched, but she nodded. The report will be filed tonight. I promise. A man in an airline uniform approached. He had a manager's badge and a practiced smile. Ms. Jensen, he said, can I speak with you? Claire's face tightened. I'm helping passengers. Now, please, the manager said. Claire glanced at Asha. Something passed between them. A silent understanding of what was coming. Claire followed the manager to a quiet corner near the windows. Asha could not hear the conversation, but she saw Claire's posture change, defensive, then defeated. The manager's voice was low but firm. His gestures were small and controlled. Claire shook her head. She said something. The manager responded. Asha knew what was happening. Claire was being warned, told not to document anything, told to protect the VIP. The manager walked away. Claire stood alone for a moment. Her shoulders sagged. Then she straightened. She returned to Asha with her jaw set. I'll file it, Claire said. Whatever they say. Asha studied her face. You could lose your job. I know, Claire said. Asha felt something shift. Not forgiveness, but recognition. Thank you, Asha said. Claire nodded. She handed Asha a card with a handwritten number. "Call me if you need anything." Asha tucked the card into her tote. She turned toward the gate agent. "Excuse me," Asha said. "I need to get to Los Angeles by 8 a.m. It's urgent." The gate agent checked her screen. "The next flight lands at 7:30. That's the earliest option." "Is there anything else?" Asha asked. "Another airline? A connection?" The gate agent's eyes were sympathetic but firm. "Everything is booked. I'm sorry." Asha felt the ground shift beneath her. She had done everything right, helped a baby, spoke truth. And still she might lose her sister. Her phone buzzed. A text from the caseworker. "Court at 8 a.m. sharp. Judge won't wait." Asha's throat tightened. She blinked hard against the pressure behind her eyes. Leonard Price appeared at her elbow. "You need help getting somewhere?" "I need a miracle," Asha said quietly. Her phone lit up again, this time with notifications from social media. Ethan's full video was spreading. Comments poured in. Some praised Asha. Others twisted the narrative into stereotype and suspicion. She was looking for attention? Billionaires always get blamed. Why was she even filming herself? Asha had not filmed anything. She had simply existed and been recorded without consent. The gate agent called her name. "Ms. Monroe, I have you rebooked on the 7:15 flight tomorrow morning." Asha nodded numbly. She took the new boarding pass. Claire watched from across the gate area. Her manager stood beside her now. Watching. Controlling. Claire's eyes met Asha's. An apology, a promise, a warning. Asha turned away. She walked toward the airport exit with her tote and her wrinkled boarding pass, and the weight of tomorrow morning pressing down like a collapsed sky. Behind her, the gate area buzzed with speculation and judgment and half-truths. Asha kept walking. Tomorrow she would stand in front of a judge and fight for her family. Tonight she just had to survive the night. Asha found a bench near the baggage claim and sat with her tote in her lap. The airport felt too bright, too loud. Her phone buzzed constantly. Messages, tags, strangers asking for her side of the story. She turned the phone face down and stared at the floor. Claire's voice cut through the noise. "Asha." Asha looked up. Claire stood a few feet away. Her uniform looked rumpled now. Tired. "My manager told me not to file the report," Claire said. Asha's stomach dropped. "Okay." "He said it would escalate things," Claire said. "That Mr. Hargrove might pursue legal action against the airline. That I could be held responsible." Asha nodded slowly. She understood. This was how it always worked. Protect the powerful. Silence the rest. "I'm going to file it anyway," Claire said. Asha's eyes found hers. "You don't have to." "Yes, I do," Claire said. Her voice shook, but her jaw was set. "I've been doing this job for 20 years. I've looked away too many times." She pulled out a printed form. Already filled in. Dated. Detailed. "This documents everything," Claire said. "The accusation, the galley conversation, your assistance, his behavior afterward." Asha took the paper with careful hands. The words blurred slightly. She blinked them into focus. "Thank you," Asha said. Claire nodded. "It might not matter. They'll probably bury it. But it exists now." Dr. Reyes appeared from the terminal. He carried a small briefcase and looked determined. "I submitted my statement to the airline," Dr. Reyes said. "Medical. Observation. Timeline. Your competence versus their initial dismissal." He handed Asha a printed copy. "Keep this, in case you need it." Leonard Price joined them quietly. "The full video is out there now. The real one. People are seeing what actually happened." Asha looked at the three of them. Strangers an hour ago, witnesses now. I have a hearing tomorrow morning, Asha said, for guardianship of my foster sister. If I'm late, I lose her. The words came out flat, exhausted. The flight lands at 7:30, Asha said. The hearing is at 8, downtown Los Angeles. I don't know if I can make it. Claire's face tightened with guilt. This is my fault. The diversion. No, Asha said. You did the right thing. That baby needed help. Still, Claire said. Leonard's voice was steady. One crisis at a time. Tonight you rest. Tomorrow you fight. Asha felt tears press behind her eyes. She did not let them fall. She stood and gathered her things. I need to find a hotel. There's one across from the terminal, Dr. Reyes said. I'll walk with you. They moved through the airport together. A small group bound by truth and consequence. Asha felt the weight of isolation lift slightly. She was not alone. Not anymore. But tomorrow she would have to be enough. The motel room smelled like old smoke and industrial cleaner. Asha set her tote on the dresser and sat on the edge of the bed. The mattress sagged beneath her. The lights buzzed overhead. She washed her hands in the small bathroom. The water ran cold, then scalding. She scrubbed slowly, methodically, as if washing off the day's humiliation. Her phone sat on the nightstand. Silent now. She had turned off notifications, but curiosity pulled at her. She picked up the phone and opened social media. The videos had multiplied, different angles, different narratives. Ethan's full clip showed everything. Grant pointing at her, Claire escorting her away, the baby's distress, Asha's calm competence. The comments were a war zone. She saved that baby. She was harassed for helping. Billionaires think they own everything. But other voices pushed back. She inserted herself where she wasn't wanted. The airline was just doing their job. People always want to play victim. Asha set the phone down. Her hands shook slightly. The airline had released a statement an hour ago. Brief. Careful. We commend our crew's professionalism during a medical emergency. All passengers were treated with respect and care. Asha's name was not mentioned. The incident in the galley was not mentioned. Grant's accusation was erased. She recognized the strategy. Acknowledge nothing. Admit nothing. Wait for the news cycle to move on. Claire had texted once. Short and careful. Report submitted. I'm prepared for whatever comes. Asha could sense the cost behind those words. A job, bills, survival. She thought about texting back, thanking her again, warning her. But what could she say that would change anything? Dr. Reyes had sent his contact information and a brief note. You were right to demand documentation. Don't let them erase you. Leonard Price had squeezed her shoulder before heading to his own hotel. Sleep if you can. Tomorrow matters more. Asha lay back on the bed, fully clothed. She stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow she would stand in front of a judge, argue for her fitness as a guardian, prove she was stable enough, responsible enough, worthy enough, and somewhere in the background of that hearing would be whispers. The video. The incident. Questions about her judgment. Doubt crept in the way it always did at night. The voice that sounded like every authority figure who had ever dismissed her. Did I make it worse? Should I have stayed quiet? Asha closed her eyes. She set an alarm for 5:30 a.m. Sleep did not come for a long time. Asha's alarm screamed at 5:30. She was already awake, staring at the ceiling in the dark. She showered quickly and dressed in the clothes she had packed. A simple blouse and slacks. Professional, respectful, invisible in the way courts expected. Her phone showed 32 new messages. She did not read them. The airport shuttle dropped her at the terminal before sunrise. The building was quieter now, emptier. She boarded the flight to Los Angeles in silence. Her seat was in the back again. Middle row. The plane took off on time. Asha watched the sun rise through the window across the aisle. They landed at 7:28, 2 minutes early. Asha moved through LAX like water. No checked bags, no delays. She ordered a car service and stood outside arrivals with her tote and her folder of documents. Traffic was lighter than expected. The driver moved efficiently through morning streets. They arrived at the courthouse at 7:53. Asha paid and stepped onto the sidewalk. The building loomed above her, stone and glass, and the weight of decisions that changed lives. The caseworker met her in the lobby. Sandra Chen, tired but kind. "You made it," Sandra said. "Barely," Asha said. Sandra's face was serious. "I need to warn you about something." Asha's stomach tightened. "What?" "The opposing attorney knows about the flight incident," Sandra said. "They're planning to bring it up." Asha felt the ground tilt. "How?" "The videos are public," Sandra said. "They'll argue it shows poor judgment, inserting yourself into situations, seeking attention." Asha's jaw tightened. "I helped a baby." "I know," Sandra said, "but they'll twist it. You need to be ready." Asha nodded. She felt anger and exhaustion collide in her chest. They walked through security together, down hallways that smelled like floor wax and bureaucracy. The courtroom was small. Beige walls, fluorescent lights, wooden benches worn smooth by years of worry. The opposing attorney sat at his table. He glanced at Asha and smiled thinly. Asha sat beside Sandra. She placed her folder on the table with steady hands. Her phone buzzed. A text from Dr. Reyes. "Statement sent to your caseworker. Good luck." The judge entered. Everyone stood. Asha's heart pounded against her ribs. This was it. Everything she had fought for. Everything she had survived. The hearing began. The opposing attorney stood with practiced ease. His suit was expensive. His smile was not. "Your Honor," he said, "we have concerns about Ms. Monroe's stability and judgment." The judge looked at Asha over her glasses. "Go on." "Ms. Monroe was involved in an incident on a commercial flight yesterday," the attorney said. "She inserted herself into a situation that did not concern her. This led to the flight being diverted." Asha's hands tightened in her lap. "The flight was diverted because a baby needed medical attention," Sandra said. "Ms. Monroe helped provide that attention." "After being asked to return to her seat multiple times," the attorney said, "after causing a disruption that concerned other passengers and crew." He placed printed screenshots on the judge's bench, comments from the videos, speculation, half-truths. "This demonstrates a pattern of boundary issues," the attorney said. "A need for attention and validation that raises questions about her fitness as a guardian." Asha felt rage bloom hot in her chest. She cooled it immediately. Emotion would only confirm what they already believed. Sandra stood. "Your Honor, we have documentation from the flight crew and a physician on board. They corroborate Ms. Monroe's account." She placed Claire's report and Dr. Reyes's statement on the bench. The judge read slowly. Her face gave nothing away. "These are serious allegations," the judge said, "on both sides." She looked at Asha. "Ms. Monroe, do you wish to respond?" Asha stood. Her voice was steady. "I helped a baby who was in respiratory distress," Asha said, "with the mother's consent and medical supervision. The flight crew can confirm that. So can the physician." "And the initial incident?" the judge asked. "Being removed to the galley?" Asha's throat tightened. "A passenger made a false accusation. I was questioned, then asked to help when the situation became serious." The opposing attorney laughed softly. "Convenient." The judge's eyes sharpened. Mr. Patterson, that's enough. She looked at Sandra. I need time to review these documents and to verify the statements from the airline and the physician. Sandra's face fell. Your Honor, Ms. Monroe has been waiting for this decision for months. I understand, the judge said, but I cannot make a ruling without complete information. We'll reconvene in 2 weeks. Asha felt the words land like a blow. 2 weeks. 2 more weeks of uncertainty. 2 more weeks of her sister waiting. Your Honor, Asha started. The judge raised her hand. My decision is final. Court adjourned. The gavel came down. Asha stood frozen as the courtroom emptied around her. Sandra touched her, arm gently. I'm sorry. Asha nodded. She could not speak. Outside in the hallway, her phone buzzed. A message from Claire. They told me not to file it. I'm sorry. Asha stared at the screen. The report Sandra had submitted was Claire's personal copy, unsigned by management, potentially inadmissible. Everything was falling apart. Asha sat in her rental car in the courthouse parking lot. Her hands gripped the steering wheel. She did not cry. She had learned long ago that crying changed nothing. Her phone buzzed constantly. Messages, calls, media requests. The airline had issued a second statement, vaguer than the first. An unauthorized passenger intervention during a medical event is under review. Unauthorized. The word felt like a slap. She had asked permission. She had waited for consent. She had done everything right. And still they rewrote the story to protect themselves. Asha stared at the folder on her passenger seat. Documentation, statements, evidence. For a moment she considered letting it go. Focus on the hearing. Survive. Keep her head down the way she had learned. Maybe fighting back would only make things worse. Maybe silence was safer. Her phone rang. Leonard Price. Asha answered. Hello. How did it go? Leonard asked. It didn't, Asha said. Her voice was flat. Postponed. They're questioning my judgment. Leonard was quiet for a moment. Because of the flight? Yes. And you're thinking about dropping it, Leonard said. The complaint, the documentation, just moving on. Asha's throat tightened. How did you know? Because I've been where you are, Leonard said. Tired, humiliated, wondering if asking for dignity is asking for too much. Asha closed her eyes. Let me tell you something, Leonard said. His voice was gentle but firm. If they can do this to you, they can do it to anyone. The next person who helps, the next person who speaks up, the next person who exists while poor and black and visible. Asha felt something crack open in her chest. You didn't make this worse, Leonard said. They did. By lying, by erasing you, by choosing power over truth. Asha's hands shook on the steering wheel. The fight is the same fight, Leonard said. In that courtroom, on that plane. It's always been about who gets to be believed. Asha opened her eyes. She looked at the folder beside her. Inside were Claire's report, Dr. Reyes's statement, the timeline, the truth. She thought about her foster sister, about the caseworker's warning, about the judge's doubt. She thought about every time she had been dismissed, doubted, erased. And she thought about what it would teach her sister if she disappeared to make other people comfortable. Asha picked up her phone. She opened her email. Thank you, Asha said to Leonard. For what? He asked. For witnessing, Asha said. She ended the call. She began typing a formal complaint to the airline, attaching Claire's report, Dr. Reyes's statement. The Kiowa timeline of events. She included her contact information, her willingness to speak publicly, her refusal to accept silence as compensation. Her hands were steady now. The fear was still there. But it had transformed into something harder. Cleaner. She pressed send. Then she called Sandra Chen. I need you to submit everything we have to the judge, including my complaint to the airline. I want it on record. Sandra hesitated. That could backfire. It might make you look combative. Or it might make me look honest, Asha said. Sandra was quiet. Then, okay, I'll file it today. Asha ended the call. She sat in the parking lot as morning became afternoon. She had chosen, no more disappearing, no more silence. Whatever came next, she would face it standing. Asha met Dr. Reyes and Leonard at a cafe 3 blocks from the courthouse. The space was public, bright, witnesses everywhere. She needed that, the visibility, the accountability. Dr. Reyes arrived first with his briefcase and a tired smile. Leonard followed carrying a newspaper. You're on the front page, Leonard said. He laid the paper on the table. Asha stared at the headline. Passenger intervention or airline discrimination. Flight incident raises questions. The article was balanced, too balanced. It gave equal weight to truth and lies. They're calling it, he said, she said, Leonard said, even with documentation. Asha's jaw tightened. What would make it not, he said, she said? Video, Dr. Reyes said. Full context, unedited. The cafe door opened. Ethan Weller walked in. He looked younger in daylight, uncertain. His phone was in his pocket for once. He approached their table slowly. Can I talk to you? Asha studied his face. Why? Because I messed up, Ethan said. His voice cracked slightly. The clip I posted first made it look different than it was. I didn't show them escorting you away. I didn't show him pointing at you. Why not? Asha asked. Because I wanted it to go viral, Ethan said. I wanted the views. I didn't think about what it would do to you. Asha felt anger and exhaustion war in her chest. I have the full footage, Ethan said. Everything. From when you first stood up to help until they took you to the galley, and after. He pulled out his phone. I want to post it, with context, with an apology for my first clip. Why now? Leonard asked. Because she's right, Ethan said. He looked at Asha. You helped that baby. They treated you like a criminal. That's not okay. Asha was quiet for a long moment. If you post it, Asha said, say exactly what happened. Don't editorialize. Don't make me a hero or a victim. Just show what happened. Ethan nodded. I will. The cafe door opened again. Claire walked in wearing civilian clothes, jeans and a sweater. Her eyes were red but steady. She approached the table and placed a printed document in front of Asha. Official incident report, Claire said. Signed, dated, submitted to the airline's corporate office and the FAA. Asha picked it up carefully. The signature was clear. Claire's employee number visible. They put me on leave, Claire said. Pending investigation. I'm sorry, Asha said. Don't be, Claire said. Her voice shook, but she did not take it back. I should have filed it immediately. I should have protected you. She sat down at the table. I've been flying for 20 years. I've seen this happen before. People getting targeted because of how they look, how much money they have. I always told myself it wasn't my business. Her hands shook as she folded them on the table. But it was my business, Claire said. It's everyone's business. Asha felt something shift in her chest. Not forgiveness, not yet, but recognition of what courage cost. Dr. Reyes placed another document on the table. My medical assessment, timeline, observation of your competence, observation of the crew's initial resistance. Leonard added a handwritten statement. Witness account, what I saw, what I heard. Asha looked at the papers spread across the table. Documentation, truth, receipts. She picked up her phone. She opened her email to the airline's formal complaint department. She attached everything. Claire's signed report, Dr. Reyes's medical statement, Leonard's witness account, Ethan's promise to post full context. She wrote a cover letter. Brief, clear, unwavering. Then she pressed send. Her breath caught. The fight was public now, documented, undeniable. Whatever came next, the truth had a voice. Ethan posted the full video at 3 p.m, unedited, complete, with a caption that named his own harm plainly. I posted a clip that made this situation look different than it was. Here's the full video. Watch what actually happened. I'm sorry for my part in spreading a false narrative. The video went live. Within an hour it had been shared 10,000 times. The comments shifted in real time. Oh my God. They accused her of nothing. She was escorted away for helping. That flight attendant looks terrified to stand up to him. This is what discrimination looks like. Media outlets picked it up. Local news, national news, think pieces. The narrative changed. Not a helpful passenger, but a woman wrongly accused, removed, then indispensable. The airline's stock dipped slightly. Social media accounts flooded with demands for accountability. By evening, the airline released a third statement. We are conducting an internal review of the incident. The crew member involved has been placed on administrative leave pending investigation. We take all concerns seriously. Asha read the statement 3 times. Administrative leave. They were punishing Claire for telling the truth. Her phone rang. A reporter from a major outlet. Ms. Monroe, would you be willing to give an interview? No, Asha said. Everything I have to say is in the documentation I submitted to the airline. But people want to hear from you, the reporter said. Then they can read the reports, Asha said. She ended the call. Leonard texted. They're trying to control the narrative by punishing Claire. Don't let them. Asha called Sandra Chen. Is the administrative leave public knowledge? It's in the airline statement, Sandra said. Then I want to release a statement supporting Claire, Asha said. She risked her job to tell the truth. That needs to be said. Sandra hesitated. That could complicate your hearing. Or it could show integrity, Asha said. Sandra was quiet. Then, I'll draft something. You review it before it goes out. Asha paced her hotel room as the sun set. Her phone buzzed constantly. Then a new notification appeared. A statement from Nora Hargrove. Asha opened it with shaking hands. I want to acknowledge Asha Monroe's help with my son during a frightening medical emergency. She was competent, kind, and respectful. The way she was treated before and after her assistance was unacceptable. I'm grateful to her and ashamed I didn't speak up sooner. The statement was brief, honest. It did not protect Grant. For the first time in 48 hours, Asha felt her shoulders drop slightly. Her phone rang. Sandra Chen. The judge wants to reconvene tomorrow morning, Sandra said. She's reviewed the new documentation. She wants to hear from you directly. Asha's heart pounded. Tomorrow? 9 a.m., Sandra said. This is good, Asha. She wouldn't move this fast unless something changed. Asha sat on the edge of the hotel bed. She stared at her reflection in the dark window. Tomorrow she would face the judge again, this time with the truth fully visible. She did not know what would happen, but she knew she had done everything she could. The rest was up to people willing to see her clearly. Asha arrived at the courthouse at 8:30. The hallway outside the courtroom was quieter this time. Sandra met her with a small smile. You ready? As I'll ever be, Asha said. They entered together. The opposing attorney looked less confident today. His suit was still expensive. His smile was gone. The judge entered. Everyone stood. Asha's breath caught. Ms. Monroe, the judge said. I've reviewed the additional documentation you submitted. The incident report from the flight attendant, the medical statement from Dr. Reyes, the witness account from Mr. Price. The judge looked at the opposing attorney. Mr. Patterson, your concerns about Ms. Monroe's judgment were based on incomplete information. The attorney shifted. Your Honor, the initial reports were inaccurate, the judge said, or deliberately misleading. Ms. Monroe acted with the consent of the child's mother and the supervision of a physician. The flight crew's initial resistance and subsequent reliance on her assistance is documented. The judge turned back to Asha. Ms. Monroe, I want to hear from you. Not about the flight, about why you're seeking guardianship. Asha stood slowly. Her voice was steady. My foster sister has been moved 5 times in 3 years, Asha said. She deserves stability. She deserves someone who shows up, who keeps promises, who fights for her. She paused. I'm not perfect. I don't have money or status. But I have love, and commitment, and the ability to keep her safe. The judge listened without interrupting. I work 2 jobs, Asha said. I budget carefully. I show up on time. I follow through. Those aren't extraordinary things. They're baseline responsibilities, and I meet them. She took a breath. On that plane, I did what any decent person would do. I helped someone in distress, with permission, with respect. The fact that I was punished for it says more about the systems I'm navigating than it does about my judgment. The courtroom was silent. The judge looked at her notes, then at Asha. Ms. Monroe, I'm granting provisional guardianship for 6 months, the judge said. During that time, you'll work with Ms. Chen on finalizing the arrangement. If all goes well, we'll reconvene for permanent guardianship. Asha's knees nearly buckled. Provisional, not final, but forward-moving. Do you understand? The judge asked. Yes, Your Honor, Asha said. Thank you. The judge's expression softened slightly. You showed up. You told the truth. You advocated for yourself and others. Those are exactly the qualities a guardian needs. The gavel came down. Sandra grabbed Asha's arm to steady her. You did it. Outside the courtroom, Asha leaned against the wall. Her breath came in shaky bursts. Claire appeared at the end of the hallway, still in civilian clothes, still on leave. She approached slowly. I heard. Congratulations. Thank you, Asha said. For everything. Claire's eyes were red. The airline is still investigating, but I'd do it again. Asha met her gaze. I know. They stood together in the courthouse hallway, 2 women who had paid different prices for the same truth. I'm sorry I didn't see you sooner, Claire said. On the plane, when it mattered most. Asha nodded. But you saw me eventually. That counts. Claire's breath hitched. She nodded. Dr. Reyes and Leonard appeared from the elevator. They had come without being asked. The judge ruled in your favor? Dr. Reyes asked. Provisional guardianship, Asha said. Leonard smiled. That's a victory. Asha's phone buzzed. A text from her foster sister. Did you win? Asha smiled. She typed back, I'm coming home. Pack your favorite things. She looked at the people around her. Witnesses, allies, strangers who became necessary. Thank you, Asha said. All of you. You did the hard part, Leonard said. We just refused to look away. Asha walked out of the courthouse into late afternoon light. The sky was clear. Traffic hummed in the distance. Her phone finally went silent in her pocket. She had fought for dignity, for truth, for the right to be seen clearly. And she had won. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough. Asha took a breath. Then another. Tomorrow she would pick up her sister and start the life they had fought for. Today she carried the kind of respect no billionaire could grant or remove. Earned, witnessed, anchored in her own unwavering worth.